Good morning and welcome to 9 a.m. Bulletin. I'm Arshh Azad and let's have a look at the headlines of this morning. Government bows to employees' demands, additional burden on government. CM call to people, cooperate to the success of Racha Banda program. CM has special plans in Kadapa. Viveka likely to be party nominee for Pulivendula by polls. South Africa won series. Yusuf Pathan's efforts went in vain. Now moving on to details. State government has at last yielded to the demands of the government employees. They called off the agitation following the government's decision to accept most of the demands, though it would put an additional burden of Rs 550 crores on the next year. It took nearly 5 hours of talks between the Joint Action Committee leaders of the Employee Association and the group of ministers before solution was found. Chief Minister gave assurance that the 11 demands of the government employees will be resolved. Finance Minister Anam Ramanarayana Reddy said that the government had agreed to hike HRA by about 2% and gratuity from the present 7 lakhs to Rs 8 lakhs from April 2011. The other demands accepted by the government include providing Medicare facilities under Arogyasri, filling up of vacant posts in a phased manner, removal of apprentice system for teachers, automatic promotional increments after 6, 12 and 18 years in place of existing 8, 12 and 24 years, and re-regularization of Panchayat Raj employees who were appointed in temporary posts.
జేఏసీ నాయకులు కానీ సెక్రటరియట్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ అసోసియేషన్ కూడా పూర్తిగా సహకరించింది. ఈరోజు ఒక మంచి వాతావరణంలో ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారి సమక్షంలో ఉద్యోగుల సమస్యల పట్ల ప్రభుత్వం తీసుకున్న నిర్ణయం వల్ల వాళ్ళు కూడా ఎంతో ఆనందాన్ని వ్యక్తం చేసి ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారికి వారు కూడా ధన్యవాదాలు చెప్పడం, దాదాపుగా 550 కోట్ల రూపాయలు అదనపు భారం ఇవాళ ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారి సమక్షంలో ఒప్పుకున్నటువంటి డిమాండ్ల యొక్క విలువ ఉంటుంది.
Chief Minister Kiran Kumar Reddy sought the cooperation of all the people in the state to make the Racha Banda program a grand success. He said Telangana or any other sensitive issue should not be clubbed with this program. The Racha Banda program will start at Dulapet, Srikakulam district from today. It will be continued to 12th February. CM requested the opposition parties and the media to extend their support for the smooth conduct of the program. He has given a call to the people of the state to understand the importance of the program and utilize the opportunity to highlight their grievances and get it redressed. The government has decided to issue temporary cards to 5.7 lakh eligible families identified under integrated survey for the 3 months for obtaining ration and other benefits like admission of to educational institutions, scholarships, housing and Arogyasri, etc. Fresh applications for ration cards will also be received during the program. Chief Minister Kiran Kumar Reddy has some special plans while conducting Racha Banda program in Kadapa, where former Kadapa MP Jagan Mohan Reddy's influence is said to be more. CM met the 3 ministers from the state, DL Ravindra Reddy, Y.S. Vivekananda Reddy and Syed Ahmadullah, and the in-charge minister Kanna Lakshmi Narayana, and discussed the Racha Banda program in the district in view of stiff resistance from the Jagan's camp. CM is likely to participate in the program at one of the places in Maidukur, Praduttur, Badvelu and Jamala Madugu constituencies. The leaders promised to mobilize thousands of people at the Racha Banda program to send a strong message across the district. CM decided to defer on taking up the program in Pulivendula, the hometown of Jagan. It has decided in this meeting to field Vivekananda Reddy as the Congress nominee for the Pulivendula by-polls. A final decision will be taken after consulting the party high command. An arrest warrant has been issued against BJP MP Shatrughan Sinha for his alleged violation of the Model Code of Conduct during the last assembly polls in Bihar. Police officials said that the order was issued on the basis of an inquiry report which had found him guilty of the violation of the Mode Code. An FIR was lodged against Sinha last year for landing his helicopter without permission at Belva Bahuari village in West Champaran district for a poll campaign.
पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड ने लिया, लेकिन फैसले पर अफसोस तो जाहिर कर ही सकता हूं कि जो हुआ मेरी नजरों में वो सही नहीं हुआ। अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो आज उसका जो फॉल आउट हुआ है बहुत कुछ ऐसा नहीं होता। आज जो चुनाव में भी प्रतिक्रिया हो रही है, बहुत सारे कारण हैं जिस पर
India's designs of winning its first ODI series in South Africa stayed unfulfilled after it was outclassed in the fifth ODI at the Supersport Park. Despite a scarcely believable exhibition of controlled power hitting from Yusuf Pathan, India lost the game by 33 runs and conceded the series 2-3. It had led 2-1 at one stage. Yusuf Pathan hit a blistering 68-ball century but could not stop South Africa from winning the series-deciding fifth one-day international against India. South Africa won by 33 runs, clinching a come-from-behind 3-2 series win thanks mainly to a century by Hashim Amla and 4 wickets by fast bowler Morkel. The rain caused a delay of more than an hour and the match was reduced to 46 overs aside.
Oh, that took off. He's going to come back for the second. So 16 it is from the over.
Now let's take a small break in the bulletin. Stay tuned.
ఎవరు చేసింది సామాన్యమైన ద్రోహం కాదు, దేశద్రోహం.
Welcome back. Seeing more details, TRS Chief Chandrasekhar Rao gave a call to boycott the Racha Banda program, which will be starting today. He also appealed to all Telangana activists to drive away Telangana Congress leaders and legislators who had attended the Racha Banda program. He said that the movement doesn't mean fighting or arousing or attacking, and peaceful agitation will also yield results. He said non-cooperation movement will be launched in the entire Telangana region from February, which will be unprecedented in the democratic history of the country. Expressing serious concern over corruption and the black money being slashed to away in foreign countries, Telugu Desam Party President Chandrababu Naidu on Sunday said and wrote a letter to Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. He urged to take steps to bring back the money and ensure transparency in financial transactions in and outside the country. In his letter, he said that the serious frauds related to 2G scam and the Commonwealth Games, LIC loan scam, exploitation of mineral and other natural resources, SEZ allotments with corrupt motives, and indiscriminate allotment of lands had a deliberating influence on policy. Chandrababu pointed out at the Supreme Court had declared about the possibility of the phenomena of black money posing a threat to national security and appealed to Prime Minister to amend laws and give more teeth to law and deal with black money menace. The battle between Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa and Governor H.R. Bharadwaj is now being fully fought in the national capital. Top BJP leaders will be meeting President Pratibha Patil today to demand the recall of the governor. Late on Friday evening, Bharadwaj had sanctioned the prosecution of the Chief Minister on corruption charges. Yediyurappa met with party leaders to chalk out the strategy. The Chief Minister said he would file a case. He would not file a case in Karnataka High Court questioning the governor's decision to give sanction for his prosecution. In Karnataka, a Raj Bhavan Chalo agitation is planned for Tuesday. The BJP had already called for a bandh on Saturday against the governor's decision, which effectively shut down the state for a day. The state government has allotted 104 acres of land to Hyderabad Metro Rail Limited for construction of its depot at Nagol on the outskirts of the city Hyderabad. Will be paying more than 25 lakhs per acre for the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, while the landowners who agreed for the land acquisition would get developed plots of 1,000 square yards at Uppal and Ramantapur Bhagat villages. In the GO, the government also approved allotment of 150 acres of Musi River front development and conservation to the Hyderabad Metropolitan Water Supply and the Sewerage Board for the same price. The cost of developing lands and layouts will be shared by Hyderabad Metro Rail Limited and Hyderabad Metropolitan Water Supply and Sewerage Board in proportion to the land allotment to each of them. A new poll sponsored by the pro-Kremlin party is asking Russians to vote on whether it's time to bury Vladimir Lenin. The embalmed body of the man who founded the Soviet Union still lies on public display in a Red Square museum almost 20 years after the communist state collapsed. The contentious issue is raised almost every year around the anniversary of his death on January 1st, 1924. It is not clear whether the government intends to abide by the outcome of the United Russia Party's poll, but Prime Minister Vladimir Putin has said that the fate of Lenin's body will in the end be decided by the Russian people. Lenin died on January 21st, 1924, and his body was embalmed and placed in a museum on Moscow's Red Square. The body is kept in a glass casket. Tamanna is back with a bang in Tollywood. She failed to make Happy Days hit count at that time and moved her base to Tamil cinema. Within no time, she has raised to the top level as a heroine in Kollywood. That is when Telugu industry had started to recognize the talent of this fair lady. Tamanna is roped into Allu Arjun's Badrinath and also paired up with Naga Chaitanya in Sukumar film. She has bagged a biggie opposite Junior NTR. Now Tamanna is penciled in to play the female lead in Brahms' next film that is to be directed by Karuna Karan. United Movies producing this film that will go on to the sets coming summer. Normally, all heroines in Karuna Karan's film have an important role to play in the film, hence Tamanna should be lucky to bag this one. Before closing the bulletin, let's have a look at the headlines once again. Government bows to employees' demands, additional burden on government. CM call to people cooperate for the success of Raksha Bandhan program. CM has special plans in Kadapa. Viveka likely to be party nominee for Pulivendala by polls. South Africa won series. Yusuf Pathan's efforts went in vain. So that's all for this morning bulletin. Next program follows. Stay tuned to Channel 4. Face the Truth.